Hi everyone. Hi, welcome. If you are new here, thank you so much for choosing my video to take a listen to today. This video is what is going to be coming towards you within the next 7 days. What does your week ahead look like? So, my friends, use your intuition to choose which pile is for you. Feel free to choose as many piles as you feel called to. Please keep in mind that this video is timeless, so whenever you're coming across it, is when the message is meant to be heard. So if you're watching this video 2 weeks after it's posted on a Tuesday, then that means this reading will go over what is going to be occurring for you from the Tuesday or from the Wednesday after the Tuesday watching up until the next Wednesday. So you guys get it. It's a week. But yeah, have fun with it. Have fun with these messages. Of course, not every single detail in each reading is going to apply to your situation, so be mindful of that. If for some reason the message really isn't resonating at all, I recommend trying to either choose a different pile or a different reading altogether. Definitely don't force a message if it's just not fitting. It's not really my style, so yeah, have fun with it, my friends. Use your intuition. These messages are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a medical doctor, so if you're in need or you find yourself in need of any professional advice, I highly recommend you seek that out if necessary. But my friends, let's jump right into these readings. So this is going to be pile number 1 with the 8 of Wands. This is going to be the pile number 2 with the Queen of Wands. And this is pile number 3 with the King of Wands. Lots of fire, I can tell, for all 3 piles. Just generally speaking for the week ahead. So I'm really excited to jump into each pile. And yeah, let's get started. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. This reading is what is going to be occurring for you within the next 7 days. What does your week ahead look like? So pile number 1, you guys did choose this 8 of Wands card. As the reading progresses, we'll see if this 8 of Wands has a home in it. If not, it won't. But this is your clarifying card. 8 of Wands usually represents communication, movement, fast action, surprises. So pile number 1. To get into your reading, to get started, I actually have the dies here for each reading. I was going to go over this in the intro, but it completely slipped my mind. But yeah, I have these dies here. So to start your reading, I'm actually going to read a short story from this book. It's called Getting Old Ain't for Wimps by Karen O'Connor. Even if you do find yourself, on the younger side of the age poll here, the stories are lighthearted usually. They're pretty funny, and it'll give us something right off the bat to relate to see kind of what the energy of your week is going to be looking like. Yeah, and perhaps there'll be something personal that even you may resonate with in there. So we'll start with the short story. So I'm going to use this die actually to pick the page number of the story that we're going to read out loud. So I'm just going to give it a roll. Wow, you guys actually got number 1. I'm pretty sure number 1 was face up, so that's interesting. Pile number 1. Ones are all about new beginnings as well, so perhaps that's just some sort of message that perhaps within your next 7 days, you will be starting something new here, pile number 1. There is no story on the page 1, so I'm going to start on page 13 with the first story here, all right? So pile number 1, let's get started. Your short story is titled, I Do Dance, Just Ask Me. My friend Lynn, who recently toppled into her 50s, admits that she now does something spontaneously that she might not have done years ago. One of them is dancing to praise music in the privacy of her own home. One day while whirling and dipping through the living room, as the music wafted from the stereo, she suddenly noticed that her daughter Sheridan's young friend, Austin, was watching wide-eyed and wide-mouthed. Uh-oh. What are you doing? He asked. Why, dancing, of course, she replied. How would you sh- how would you and Sheridan like to join me? She often does. My mother doesn't dance, Austin said soberly. And you're too old to dance. I've never been much of a dancer, Lynn admitted, when relating this incident to me. But I'll keep trying, even without the encouragement of Austin and others, including my husband, Mike. His response, an echo of Fred Astaire's comment to Ginger Rogers, never varies. I don't dance, don't ask me. I feel like that those two people are famous, but I'm unfamiliar, so if you're unfamiliar as well, sorry about that. Lynn recalled, sorry, Lynn recalled that at wedding receptions, after stilted attempts at slow dancing, though he was skilled at stepping on my feet, Lynn recalled that at wedding receptions, after stilted attempts at slow dancing, though he was skilled at stepping on my feet, Mike would literally shove me into other couples, admonishing loudly enough for everyone to hear. Lynn stopped pushing. These occurrences escalated until, as Lynn put it, they reached one final, humiliating climax. Lynn's boss was retiring and invited her and Michael to a special celebration at a disco restaurant, no less. After dinner, couples gathered under bright lights and a spinning mirror globe. Upon my repeated urgings, said Lynn, Michael reluctantly followed me, but before stepping onto the floor, he whispered this warning into my ear. Lynn, this sounds like one of those songs that starts out slow and ends up fast. And if it does, I am sitting down. After hearing a few notes, Michael seemed to know what was coming. The song was slow at first, then the pace picked up. As promised or threatened, maybe, Michael left the dance floor and sat down, but Lynn did not. I stood speechless, motionless, incredibly mortified, she said. She couldn't believe her husband would stoop so low to leave her solo. I tried to escape, she said, but I was bumped from one rump to the next. Lynn groped her way through the gyrating group. This is a weird story, huh? Lynn groped her way through the gyrating group, suddenly realizing that most of the dancers were no skilled than she was. Many danced without a partner and seemed to be having a better time on their own. Lynn took their cue, kicked up her heels, and danced the night away. Since that evening long ago, I have learned to dance, said Lynn with a smile. Just ask me, and she feels perfectly at ease doing so. Why, even King David danced in the praise of the Almighty One. As for Michael, well, he has not been able to sit on the sidelines for long. Now that his daughter Sheridan is becoming a young lady, she invites him each year to Cupid's Ball at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. How could he refuse his own child? He still doesn't dance. Oh, please don't ask him, said Lynn. But Sheridan doesn't seem to know the difference. Huh. Okay, so pile number one. I'm not gonna lie, like this story was a bit long in comparison to some of the other stories. Yeah, so the gist that I got, okay, a few things stuck out. If you stuck to the end, thanks. So a few things actually stuck out to me while I was reading this story, pile number one. Okay, so right off the bat, before I even rolled the die to see which page to flip to here, I did pick up this energy of something new coming in, something spontaneous as well. Could also be represented by the Eight of Wands here. So this story was really all about Lynn kind of overcoming that fear of dancing by herself. You know, the basic, the general idea that Lynn was ditched on the dance floor, right? And although it was scary to kind of, you know, dance alone, it sounds like she didn't have a lot of experience, right? It was also, it sounded like she was a little bit even embarrassed or abashed about dancing by herself here, but she looked around, there were others doing the same thing, and they seemed to be more lively than if they were with someone else. So pile number one. All in all, I feel like the energy here is something is going to be done solo this week, okay? You might find yourself either having a lot of time to yourself, going out by yourself. Um, for example, you could one day out of the week, you could just be taking yourself out to a really nice restaurant, just by your lonesome, getting a nice plate of food, sitting down at a table, treating yourself, things like that. So having a movie date by yourself as well, that could be another example here. But yeah, all in all, pile number one, I'm definitely picking up this sense of not like solitude, because in the story, Lynn wasn't alone on the dance floor. There were other people on the dance floor, but it was almost like a liberating, independent feeling I'm picking up. Some sort of liberating, independent, experience or feeling I'm definitely feeling is making its way towards you this week, pile number one. And with the Eight of Wands, again, I feel like it's going to be something is spontaneously going to occur. This may be a surprise of some kind, something that will help keep the fire lit, I'm hearing, keep the moment lively as well, keep the energy high. Yeah, so that's what I'm picking up, pile number one. That story was pretty funny. That was pretty cute. Her husband Michael there, he doesn't dance, but because her daughter loves to dance, he always finds himself in positions that forces him to dance. That could also indicate some sort of responsibility. Might be coming up, pile number one, this week, where it's not something that you look forward to necessarily, but think about it. Yeah, Mike probably didn't like to dance, but he's going to a school dance with his daughter. This is something that, is memorable. It's something that's meaningful as well. So who knows? Pile number one, you may find yourself amidst some sort of event or a gathering, making a memory of some kind between you, your family, your loved ones, right? Or again, this could just be you doing something solo, finding meaning and joy out of some sort of event or circumstance that takes place, which is beautiful. That's beautiful energy. So pile number one, that's your short story for the week. I have 2 pre-shuffled oracle cards here, so we'll get into those. And then after these oracle cards, we'll end your reading with some tarot and then ask for some advice for the week ahead. So pile number one, you guys also have 39 with transcending, Atlantis. I'm noticing the dolphins in the air there. There's flying dolphins, which is bringing me to this idea that perhaps within your next 7 days, something may be somewhere that normally isn't, right? Because normally dolphins are in the water, but these are kind of like floating above the water, clearly in the air. So yeah, perhaps something will be a bit unusual, a bit unorthodox, unordinary. It's kind of like bringing me back to that idea of spontaneity. Yeah, I definitely sense something unorthodox, unordinary, unique is coming to mind about the week ahead. Pile number one, transcending. I'm actually thinking of reading the message that goes with this card out loud. So 39, transcending. Let's see. So transcending. Time, a traveler's message. When you pull this card, it's time to rise above the mundane circumstances of your life. Through the focused power of your mind, it is possible to let go of ordinary concerns, interesting, and enter a more rarefied perspective. Yeah, I'm definitely picking up this energy that something unique is coming towards you, pile number one. Something is definitely destined to occur within the next few days for you that will help redirect you in some kind of way. This could be a physical redirection. This could have to do with your perception. Perhaps you will have a transcending moment where you will be perceiving something differently or seeing something or someone in a different light here. That could definitely be a possibility. It also says positive changes are ahead. Old structures, beliefs, and ideas are dropping away as you transcend into an altered reality of your life. Trust your psychic senses and your intuition. Yeah, so I definitely see you again with the dolphins in the air. Something unique is happening. Something spontaneous. Something spontaneous. Um, for many of you, I am picking up whatever this event is or new perspective that's coming towards you. It's going to be, I heard the word shock for some of you. For some of you, it's going to be more of a shock. For others, it's going to be more of a surprise. But either way, this is going to be incredibly beneficial for future projects, future decisions, future moves and actions you may take in the future, I'm hearing. So what you do today is definitely going to affect your tomorrow, pile number one. I'm definitely feeling that that type of energy in your reading very, very heavily. So yeah, let's take a look at what your last oracle card is. You guys have Hermit with retreat and recharge. Hermit the Hermit energy is usually very inclusive. This is meditating on within. Pile number one, you may find yourself again with like that idea of being a bit more by yourself this week, working in solitude. You may be using the next few days, pile number one, as kind of like you may be utilizing the next few days to come to terms with something, I'm hearing, or to finalize some sort of decision. If that is the case, I definitely see you making a wise decision by the end of the week, due to you really taking the time to understand all the different sides of some sort of situation so you can see the optimum solution for yourself and for others. Take that if it resonates, okay? If it doesn't, it doesn't. But pile number one, let's jump into tarot before we end your reading here. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck a few times. What is coming towards pile number one for their week ahead? Ooh, all right, I think that's good. So at the bottom of the deck, we do have Justice. So by the end of the week, pile number one, I definitely see something working out in your favor or for your best interest. I'm seeing something being dealt with fairly, especially if you find yourself in some sort of troubling situation where there's multiple parties involved. I do see you getting like the better end of the stick after that situation or circumstance is resolved. But yeah, pile number one, you guys got the High Priestess here to start with. So the beginning of your week, I definitely see you on track with something. I have a feeling that you have a keen awareness of what you need to be doing, which direction you should be looking in. With the High Priestess card as well, I'm also being called to advise you to use your intuition when it comes to sensing hardship or danger before it occurs, reading the signs, remaining observant, aware as well of yourself, of what's going on around you. And if you do that, I feel like it will be very easy to overcome certain obstacles or challenges that may lie ahead. You guys also have Four of Swords, so your week ahead, definitely take periodical moments of rest. This could also be indicating with the Hermit retreat and recharge, perhaps within the next week, you may have like some sort of spa day appointment. If that's not the case, hey, maybe that's something that maybe that's something that may interest you. Even if it's not an actual like spa, you could just have a little, spa day at home as well. Definitely like something like with a cleansing bath or something like that I'm being drawn to because of all like the water in this Atlantis card and then in this High Priestess card. I'm definitely seeing like or sensing water will be very beneficial for you, like spiritual baths, even just like regular baths, Epsom salt baths, taking a walk by a lake, being around water. I feel like those things will keep you grounded, especially when it comes to your emotions. If you resonate with quite recently or like your past week was a little bit emotional, right? Definitely use this week ahead to get some rest in. For sure. You guys also have the Nine of Cups. Ooh, that's a good sign. So the Nine of Cups usually represents some sort of wish coming true. It could also represent being near the finish line when it comes to something you're incredibly passionate about, something that you've worked really hard for, something you've earned. So yeah, I'm also being drawn to in this card, in this Nine of Cups, there's actually a little like, is it a mouse or a rat? Yeah, it looks like a rat. It looks like a rat that's like trying to look into this cup here. But if you look closely, this man isn't even looking. He's not even paying attention. So with this Nine of Cups, it's kind of drawing me back to this High Priestess card where I was kind of picking up that energy of keep your eyes open this week, because as long as you remain vigilant and observant of what's going on around you, I feel like catastrophes, both small and large, will and can and will be easily avoided. And your last two tarot cards today are the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So these kind of like came out together, right? So the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Swords, very opposing energies. I feel like these two cards are saying that the next 7 days will require a brute amount of honesty, especially within yourself. I'm hearing the next 7 days, pile number one, you may find yourself needing to be incredibly honest with yourself, especially when it comes to things like, I'm hearing like habits, bad habits specifically, mental patterns, things like that are thought patterns, because the Eight of Swords usually has a lot to do with feeling trapped or caged mentally. So yeah, pile number one, all in all, I feel like the main message for your week ahead is you taking these next 7 days to really kind of like sort through the wants, the needs, the keeps, the stays, right? And by the end of the week, I feel like you will naturally just have a better idea of both the direction you want to go into, like physically or emotionally, as well as some sort of strategic plan here. Because you guys mainly got like cups and swords, right? In the beginning, we got a lot of water as well. So yeah, I definitely see you in a period of contemplation for some of you, kind of like, again, like organizing everything, right? I feel like, at first I was picking up this energy of like feeling overwhelmed, but I don't really think that's what it is. It's more of like this energy of sifting, like you're sifting through, yeah, you're just like sifting through all the different areas of your life. Like kind of like that idea of like spring cleaning, right? You're spring cleaning. This could be like literally this week you could find yourself spring cleaning within your home, but generally I just see you making up your mind about something, pile number one, by the end of the week here. So to end your reading, I do have this Astro Oracle deck. I'm just going to give it a shuffle. What is pile number one's advice? What should they pay attention to? What should they be prioritizing this week? All right, you guys got 3. So you guys, ooh, that's interesting. So your first one is Eros with erotism. Erotism. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Erotism, desire, and sex. So this reading could pertain to love, lust, okay? Be safe if that is the case, my friends. You guys also have Aries with trailblazing, innovative, and fearless. There's that fire energy. It's interesting. And then medium coli with mid-haven, direction, and reputation. Yeah, this was kind of the idea, was the energy I was picking up earlier, where you're finding that some sort of conviction in a direction that you want to take. That's interesting energy here with the arrows and the Aries, because you guys got a lot of water in your reading. So this is your advice. So perhaps keeping a fearless attitude, remaining innovative. This is just a side note. Staying hydrated this week could be very important for you as well. But pile number one, I believe that's all I'm seeing in your cards today. Thank you so much for stumbling across my video and choosing to stick around to the end. That really means a lot to me. If you would like to support my channel, please, for me, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I've been trying to post these videos weekly again, so definitely stay tuned in the future for future videos. If you'd like to look at my playlist, I have hundreds of videos already pre-recorded, so if that interests you, definitely take a look. Pile number one, again, thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, pile number two, welcome to your reading. This reading is what is going to be occurring for you within the next 7 days. What does your week ahead look like? So pile number two, you guys picked this Queen of Wands card. As your reading progresses, we'll see if this Queen of Wands has a place in it. But right off the bat, I am noticing the volcano here, pile number two. Volcanoes could usually represent things like something erupting, obviously, repression, heat as well. So pile number two. Yeah, let's jump right into it. So you guys also picked this die here with your pile. So today I'm actually going to be reading a short story from this book. It's called Getting Old Ain't for Wimps by Karen O'Connor. There's a bunch of cute little short funny stories in here. I find them incredibly relatable, even if you aren't getting old. Right? The stories are definitely still something to laugh at, still something to relate to. So yeah, pile number one, to choose your short story, I'm actually going to roll this die here, and whatever number we land on is the page I'm going to choose from. So pile number two, let's get started on your reading. So you guys got a 10. You guys got a 10 there. So I'm going to go to page 10 and read whatever short story is on that page. So page number... Or actually, I'm going to pick a different number for you because the first short story starts on page 13, and that I read that one for pile one. So, all right, 20. I'll show you. So you guys got number 20. Number 20. All right, so number 20. So this short story is called Leaping Lizard. Debbie's mother rented a home in Fallbrook, California. Unfortunately, the house has several leaks around the doorways and windows, as many older stucco houses do. One day, while she was home alone and busy with her daily routine, she noticed something dark on the carpet. She leaned over for a closer look, and to her surprise, it was a lizard lying motionless. My mother is very afraid of frogs, snakes, and lizards, said Debbie, yet she didn't want to kill the little creature. She ran into the kitchen, grabbed a large cooking pot, and returned to the scene. She popped the pot over the lizard like a lid until her husband could return from work and take care of it. She kept a close watch, worried, however, that if the lizard did slip out, he might bite her. He couldn't be too cautious, you know. One couldn't be too cautious, you know. Just in case, she climbed on a chair and never moved until her husband walked through the door. My dad was rather surprised to see Mom perched on a chair, Debbie commented as she laughed. staring at the pot on the floor in front of her. Moments later, he had heard the full story and started laughing. You know that lizard you thought you captured under the pot? He asked with a twinkle in his eye. Well, it's sitting under your chair. Apparently, the lizard decided to protect itself, too. Oh, that is funny. So, pile number 2, the moral of the story here, basically, she found the lizard. She's afraid of lizards, so she put a kitchen pot over it, right? And to her surprise, she's worried, she's in fear. Um, she's putting all of her fixed attention on watching this lid to make sure the lizard like doesn't slip out. Turns out the whole time the lizard actually already slipped out and was under her chair. So that's really interesting, pile number 2. So I'm definitely picking up this energy for you this week, how this volcano in the background here might be erupting, but if you watch it for too long, not only are you wasting your own time by and energy by worrying, but you're also missing out on something, on the exact thing that you're watching out for, right? That's interesting. So if that makes sense, it makes sense, right? But yeah, pile number 2, I definitely see you guys in an energy where you're being advised to remain not cautious necessarily or vigilant or super observant, but to kind of like take things with ease, right? Take matters that would normally leave you tense. I feel like the more harmony you bring into the situation, and the more like of an easygoing attitude, right? The more you flow with this week, pile number 2, I feel like the more rewarding it will be for you. And by the end of the week, all of your worries will be taken care of, I'm hearing. So yeah, pile number 2, that's your short story. Really cute. It's funny that something about lizards popped up because earlier today a story about a frog was really applicable to me. So that's interesting. But yeah, pile number 2. So I have 2 pre-shuffled oracle cards here. So let's jump in with these, and then after we go through these, I'm going to jump into tarot, and then to end your reading I'll get some closing advice. So pile number 2, let's dive a little deeper. Your first oracle card here is 28 with patience. Yes, I definitely am picking up this energy of, this is kind of like what I was picking up before with feeling harmony, being in this state of flow within the next 7 days, pile number 2. You may resonate with currently waiting for something. This could be something like an Amazon package, right? That you ordered a month ago and it could be coming in any day now. Perhaps that's something that will be arriving this week, towards the end of the week. This patience card could also represent like to remain patient, right? Perhaps people will be trying to test your patience, right? Again, I'm picking up that energy with the volcano here, because in this Queen of Wands, I know this has something to do with some sort of mythological lore. I'm unfamiliar with the lore itself, but she's not wearing a shirt, which to me, symbolically could represent a sense of freedom, a liberation, freedom, authenticity as well. But yeah, we have an erupting volcano and she's got a smile on her face here. So I definitely see you within the next 7 days, pile number 2. Kind of like taking things as they go, working very harmoniously, being in a sense of genuine peace, okay, with whatever's going on around you. And I feel like that's not just really admirable generally, but it's very admirable. It's very it's a healthy way. I feel like you're going to be looking at things in a very healthy way this week, pile number 2. So your next oracle card is Mountains Withstand Your Ground. Mountains withstand your ground. You may find yourself in a position where you will be defending something. and you may be caught in some sort of debate. For some of you, mountains could usually are symbolic of overcoming some sort of troublesome or heavy or hard experience and gaining something from it. Like most of the time, it's, wisdom or knowledge or a perspective or having some sort of understanding, right? So with the stand your ground message here, pile number 2, I feel like within the next 7 days, you're going to be defending something, but it's going to be something you have personal experience with. This could be like a person, for example. Say you're in the workplace and everyone's talking about someone that was just hired and the job they've been, their performance basically, and you're the only one who's actually taken the time to actually see how they work and what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's kind of like an example of you using some sort of personally gained information or understanding to defend something or someone here. Take that if it resonates. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, pile number 2, right off the bat, that's kind of the energy I'm picking up for you. For some of you, this energy could be representing, you may find yourself in the middle of some sort of like dispute this week. If that is the case, please don't be alarmed. I don't think it's going to, I'm not feeling like a huge tower moment necessarily, but I'm definitely picking up you needing to remain grounded, physically, like grounded, as well as being able to think light on your feet, right? I know those are kind of opposing energies, but generally speaking, I feel like you're being advised this week, pile number 2, to kind of like find the balance between them. So let's see what is coming towards pile number 2 for the week ahead. Jump into tarot, get a couple tarot cards. Oop. All right, that should be good. So at the bottom of the deck, you guys do have the 7 of Swords. So 7 of Swords, this is tricky energy. You could be dealing with someone who was a bit mischievous, someone who was a bit deceptive. This could be like a little catching someone in a small white lie, or, I mean, who knows? Maybe you're the one who is feeling a little tricky, right? It doesn't always have to be bad, right? Everyone's situation is so different. That 7 of Swords could also be representing like perhaps one day out of these 7 days a week, you will find yourself playing trivia, going out to eat and playing trivia, right? Take it how it resonates, of course. But pile number 2, your tarot cards. So you guys are starting with, oh no. So you're starting out with the 3 of Swords here. The 3 of Swords is all about overcoming pain. So I have a feeling this has a lot to do with this Patience card as well as the Mountain card, because pile number 2. For many of you, I feel like there's going to be a person approaching you this week with some sensitive information I'm picking up. This could be like information about a situation pertaining to you or that you're involved in. This could also be like, like information about like a rumor, like rumors, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm also picking up like this energy of someone just flat out being not a nice person at all. So pile number 2, if that is the case here, have no fear, because you guys have this Patience card with the Queen of Wands as well. I have a feeling that whatever is coming towards you this week, you're both strong enough to handle it. You're ready to hear it, I'm hearing. There's something you're ready to hear. There's something you're ready to understand. There's something you're ready to know. Although it may come with a little bit of heaviness, or pain for some of you. It's something that will help propel you forward. It will help, yeah, propel you forward. I'm seeing like a bow and arrow, and like the arrow is kind of like being cocked back, right? And someone's letting go of it, and then it's just flinging on forward. So whatever this painful situation, realization, information is, pile number 2, it will help propel you forward. Actualize plans, I'm hearing, actualizing some sort of plan. Take that if it resonates. You guys also have the 5 of Cups with the King of Wands. That's interesting. 5 of Cups, you know, it's feeling a little bit down to the dumps, feeling loss of some kind. But paired with the King of Wands, I definitely see you experiencing some sort of failure here, pile number 2, and then immediately after finding the will to get back up, try again, not being afraid to change directions. Yeah, just because you experience one failure, pile number 2, it's important to keep in mind not to completely lose confidence in yourself, right? With every failure, you know, it comes that sour feeling, but it's important that when experiencing despair or failure or sorrow, it's important to recognize that you know, nothing lasts forever. Every moment will pass eventually, whether it's good or bad. And B, it can be transcended into something different. It could be used as, you know, wisdom. Edison, you know, I don't remember how many times, but say like, I think it was like 900 and something times he made the light bulb, like what, 1,000 times or something. There was like 1,000 uh attempts or something like that. And when asked about it, he says, I didn't fail 999 times, I learned 999 ways not to make a light bulb. So I'm definitely picking up that energy for your week ahead, pile number 2. You're overcoming some sort of challenge through having a confident and positive state of mind and belief, full on belief in yourself. And because of that, you're taking some sort of failure or painful situation and you're actually making it work for you, right? Everyone's situation is going to be so different, so take what resonates, of course. Let's get some closing advice for you, pile number 2. What does pile number 2 need to hear to close their message? All right, I'm going to actually pick up these. I'm just going to get this one here. All right, so all right, I guess I'll get that one too. So pile number 2, you guys got 2 little advice cards here. So your first piece of advice for the week ahead is to be mutable. Versatility, flexibility, and adaptability. Yeah. You're making things bend for you, right? You're using something to its fullest capacity, to its advantage, for your advantage. Remaining flexible, strong yet supple, I feel like is very important for you this week. Again, it's tying me back to that energy of recognizing your shortcomings and using that recognition to become a stronger leader, right? You guys also have waxing gibbous moon with nurturing, patience, and refinement. Yeah, something is being refined here. You're definitely like chipping away at something in order to reveal some sort of final product, final structure. I definitely sense some sort of hard cycle is nearing a close here, pile number 2, generally speaking. You guys got patience again, see? Nurturing and patience. So remain patient with yourself, I'm feeling, for most of you. Remain patient with others. This is just a random message that I just intuitively feel called to say. If you do find yourself dealing with troublesome people, negative people, loud people, chaotic people, rude, mean, whatever the case may be, if you find yourself being around those kinds of people, whether it's willingly or unwillingly, pile number 2, the best piece of advice I have for you is, I know it's hard to remain patient and calm and tolerant sometimes, but this is how I think about it. When I'm in the company of incredibly sour ass people, I try to have as much compassion as I can for them, because I'm a firm believer that every single thing that is put in front of you in your waking life is some sort of reflection of your present or past self, right? So when I see people acting really sour, I actually see myself in them. And because of that, I try to remain as compassionate as I can. And I know it's always easier said than done, but it's a work in progress, right? It's not something that's going to happen the first time you try it perfectly, but if you keep reminding yourself, pile number 2, that everyone is on a journey, right? Everyone is here experiencing a life very not sometimes not like the same as us, right? Or the same as me or the same as you, but we all have hardship, right? We all have moments of highs and lows in our life. Sometimes, people are just in a different place than we are, and not only does it have to be respected, but to have compassion for those people is something it's a very like King of Wands, a way to approach certain situations. And I feel like that's what you're going to be doing this week. The pile number 2, I believe that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around towards the end. If you're here, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you vibe with the way I read. But yeah, pile number 2. Have a beautiful week ahead, and I will catch you guys next time. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This reading is what is going to be occurring for you within the next 7 days. What does your week ahead look like? So pile number 3, you guys did choose this King of Wands tarot card. So the King of Wands, this is a very powerful energy, lots of fire. King of Wands could represent leadership, authority, self-discipline as well. What is that? Is that a peacock? Yeah, I think this is supposed to be a peacock. The feathers look like a peacock, right? But the bird is giving me phoenix vibes, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, I was gonna point out, pile number 3, that peacocks could represent like an elegance. It could also have a lot to do with like our pride, right? Our egos, divinity. So yeah, pile number 3. To start your reading, actually, I do have a die here that you picked with your pile. So I'm going to give this die a random roll, and we're actually going to start your reading with a short story here from this book, Getting Old Ain't for Wimps by Karen O'Connor. I absolutely love this book. It's filled with a bunch of short stories that I find incredibly relatable to. So yeah, we'll start off with a short story to see what the energy is going to be looking like for the next 7 days. And then we'll jump into Oracle, then Tarot, and to end your reading, we'll get some closing advice with this Astro Oracle deck here. But pile number 3, let's see. Let's give your die a little roll and see what you got. So you guys got page number 60. So page number 60. All right. So pile number 3, your short story is called Prescription Laughter. There's something about a first appointment with a new doctor that's unnerving, admitted Nancy. My longtime internist had announced his retirement, so I decided to take a chance on a new one. I scheduled a regular checkup. As Nancy emerged into the interstate on her way to the medical suite, a cup of ice water in the cup holder of her car tipped over and splashed her. I attempted to soak up the water with a few tissues and drive at the same time. Not a good idea. The result was 2 wet seats, the car's and mine. I didn't want to be late, so I drove on, praying that somehow my denim jumpsuit would dry out in the next few minutes. Nancy signed in at the desk in the waiting room, holding her purse behind her so the other patients wouldn't notice. Her damp derriere. By the time the nurse called her into the examining room, Nancy couldn't keep quiet another moment. She confessed the episode, and the 2 had a good laugh. The nurse tried to convince Nancy her wet pants were not that obvious, especially since denim is dark blue, but Nancy knew better the moment she stood up from the paper-covered examination table, which was now as wet as she was. Nancy began imagining what would occur next. The new younger doctor would come in, shake her hand, take one look, and say, "Well, Mrs. Brummett, other than the incon, I'm sorry, incontinence. I don't what incontinence. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word. I apologize. How are you handling growing older?" The doctor, however, held his tongue. By the end of their initial visit, Nancy said she felt comfortable enough with him to confess her problem. She was encouraged to see that he could laugh about it too. So the reflection of the story, it says, our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. So pile number 3, that's pretty interesting. As I was reading this, I'm not going to lie, for me personally, I feel like I always have experiences like this whenever I go to the doctors. Not quite like this, but little like moments of me feeling like almost clumsy or embarrassed. Right? So you may relate to that, okay? But yeah, so pile number 3, your week ahead, right off the bat, I'm picking up a few things from this story. The first thing I'm picking up is perhaps, this is specific, but you may resonate with having some sort of appointment this week, a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment for you. You could be a caretaker, taking someone in your family, a client, your children, right? Take that only if it resonates, of course. But if that's not the case, pile number 3, I'm definitely picking up this energy of, again, like something occurring within the next 7 days, as a cause or as a result of you either being clumsy or in a rush, you know what I mean? Like a little accident, like spilled milk, right? It's like the saying, you're not crying over the spilled milk this week, you're laughing about it, okay? That's the energy, right? That's actually incredibly positive. I definitely see you looking at things generally this week, pile number 3, in a very positive light. Whew, sorry, number 3, I just got a phone call. All right, let me collect my train of thought really quick. All right, yeah, so something else I wanted to point out as well. In the beginning of that story, pile number 3, there was a part where Nancy was actually, so the whole situation occurred because she was trying to do 2 things at once. Specifically, something while she was cleaning up the water while she was driving. So pile number 3, that could be a little hint as well. Within the next 7 days, if you find yourself like on the road a lot, just be conscientious of, what you're doing behind the wheel. Be careful of, make sure you're avoiding the distractions and things like that. Take caution if you are eating or drinking, not like alcohol. You shouldn't be driving at all if you're drinking alcohol behind the wheel. But I mean, like, having like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Just be careful with like overindulging while driving, distractions while driving, okay? I know I'm not trying to seem patronizing or nothing, but hey, it was in there, so I thought it would make sense if I pointed it out. But yeah, pile number 3, interesting start to your week for sure. I definitely, again, I'm picking up that energy of you laughing over spilt milk this week, which is always a fun way to handle things, right? So, to start with your oracle cards, you guys got number 12 with exuberance, the roaring 20s in Paris. Number 12. So the number 12 is all about, to me, something kind of like coming to a close here. The ending of something, the last chapter. Exuberance as well. This is having an uplifting time. This is dancing. This is feeling vitalized, right? Within the next 7 days, pile number 3, you could find yourself in like a party setting, going to some sort of event where something's being celebrated here. There could be dancing involved, smiling, laughing. For some of you, intuitively, I'm picking up like this could be some sort of like comedy show. It doesn't even have to be something like outside of the home. This could be like you sitting down with a few friends and having a movie night or having a game night, or yeah, the list really goes on. Use your imagination, take what resonates, of course. But I'm definitely picking up, there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of joy for you this week, pile number three. But more importantly, it's like the spreading of joy. I feel like joy and laughter, it's going to be incredibly contagious this week. Pile number three, you may find yourself just naturally just feeling very genuinely goofy, playful. You may, for some of you, I'm picking up like this energy of enjoying the warm weather, being outside, experiencing things like camping or swimming, right? Take that only if it resonates, of course. But you guys also have the Magic Guardian with Unlock the Magic Within. Again, she's holding a lot of fire here. Yeah, so I definitely am picking up this energy, pile number three. Unlock the magic within. I have a feeling for many of you within the next 7 days, there's a lot of like pent up, usually it's like pent up rage, right? But for you, pile number three, I'm feeling like the opposite. I'm feeling like a pent up excitement, right? There's a lot of like pent up energy, of passion, excitement. I'm being drawn to, I just noticed, well, I have this card here of the Astral Oracle deck, and I kept my eyes were kept being drawn to the Aries here. So yeah, I definitely see you taking a first step in something fun. Take that if it resonates, okay? Yeah, I definitely see you getting out, doing something fun. Expressing yourself through movement could also be applicable. If you felt called to pile number two, I definitely recommend checking that out. The short story was actually about dancing, and I'm pretty sure the King of Wands came out in that reading as well. So if you feel called to, definitely check it out. If not, whatever. But yeah, pile number three. Let's jump into tarot and see. Ooh, interesting. Queen of Swords. I'm definitely feeling an overall lightheartedness. Ooh. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Eight of Swords. So that's interesting because the Eight of Swords is usually about feeling like trapped, being stuck with some sort of limiting belief. This could also represent some sort of doubt that you had about a situation or about yourself. If that is the case, pile number three, then within the next 7 days, whatever your doubts, your worries, your limiting beliefs are, I feel like there's something that's going to occur that will allow more freedom to be expressed here. This is freedom within yourself. Like this could be something as simple as, movement, right? With the dancing. Again, going back to that idea of like being stuck in the cage, this bird is completely free. So you could be quite literally getting out. This could be representing you getting out of your comfort zone as well, breaking free. Yeah, for the most part, I feel like this sense of liberation or freedom, it's going to allow you to finally express some sort of joy that you've been holding on to for some reason. That's interesting. Like if you resonate with like feeling really happy about something or excited about something, but not really being in the right time or place to express that happiness or excitement, within the next 7 days, I definitely see you overall taking like a moment to just straight up relax and just put all your worries and fears, limiting beliefs and doubts, just shove them under the bed somewhere and just really enjoy your present moment here. So pile number three, your first tarot card, you have the Four of Swords. So right off the bat, I'm picking up this energy. You may resonate with the week ahead, being on some sort of vacation, having an extra day off to yourself. Four of Swords is usually all about rest, relaxation. You could be catching up on sleep. If that isn't the case, pile number three, then perhaps this week will be so busy. This Four of Swords is coming out to advise you to make sure that you get enough sleep at night, to make sure that you're getting You're going to bed at a genuinely acceptable time at night, getting up at an acceptable time in the morning, things like that. So you guys also have the Knight of Cups. This could be some sort of like romantic gesture, some sort of romantic offer. This could be like someone coming in and then saying, hey, let's go out on a date, right? It doesn't have to be romantic. This could be a friend. This could be like a family member that you haven't seen in quite a long time, a cousin that lives out of state and they're home visiting for the next week, right? This could be them reaching an arm out, giving you an invitation. Yeah, I definitely see you spending some time, pile number 3, with someone that you have a lot of love for or that has a lot of love for you. You guys also have the 9 of Cups. Yeah. Overall, all the cards that have come out so far are definitely giving me like vacation vibes. So pile number 3, your week ahead, I definitely see a smile on your face here. 9 of Cups is all about feeling fulfilled emotionally, right? You may also resonate with receiving a gift of some kind. It could be your birthday, okay? That's just something for someone out there that you could have a birthday this week, or perhaps you're celebrating someone else's birthday. Take that only if it resonates, of course. And your last hero card today is the Emperor. That's pretty interesting. So I'm actually, more than anything, I'm being drawn to the bridge in this card. Is that a bridge? I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's like an abstract bridge, but my mind is saying it's a bridge, so I'm just gonna go with that. So yeah, I definitely see something coming together. This could be representative of a bridge coming between two people. But generally speaking, the Emperor uh, does represent abiding by some sort of rule, being very self-disciplined as well. So yeah, pile number 3, I'm definitely picking up this energy of you kind of like needing to let loose a little bit this next 7 days. Perhaps you may resonate with the past few days, past few weeks, past few months feeling very draining, very heavy, very mundane as well. If that is the case, within the next 7 days, pile number 3, something's occurring where it will allow you to let loose a little bit, step outside your comfort zone. But with the Emperor, again, don't get too crazy, right? Keep in mind that the choices you make today will only affect your tomorrow and those after. So yeah, pile number 3. Pretty cool stuff here. To end your reading, I'm going to get some closing advice from this Astral Oracle deck. So what advice does pile 3 need for their week ahead? What areas should they be focusing on? It's interesting. Pile number 2 got that same one. Get like one more. 2 more, I guess. All right. Ooh. All right. Oh, one of them. Yep. Okay. So, pile number 3, your first piece of advice for the week ahead. You got waxing gibbous moon with nurturing patience and refinement. So to remain patient with something that could be applicable, or perhaps within the next 7 days, something that you've had to remain patient for is making its way towards you. So take what resonates, of course. I'm also being drawn to the word nurturing. You did get the 4 of Swords, keep in mind here. So be sure to take breaks. Self-care could also be very important for you. Oh, wow, that's pretty funny. So you guys actually got Ceres with self-care, wellness, and agriculture? Yeah, self-care, wellness, and agriculture. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like getting out and about, breaking out of your shell a little bit, pile number 3, will be some form of self-care. Remember, movement, things like dance, expression of the self in general is a form of self-care. So definitely get involved in that if you have the opportunity this week. And your last card is Imium coli with nadir, origins, and inner child. Yeah, there's definitely a sense of play. There's definitely a sense of play for you this week, pile number 3. You may experience some sort of situation where it has you feeling like young again. It has you feeling like a kid again, right? Take that if it resonates. It's interesting too because because in your short story, she literally like, she spilt water on herself before going into the doctor's office and it looked like she wet herself. So, that's pretty interesting. It's kind of drawing me back to that inner child, like feeling like a kid again because, when we were all little, when we were all toddlers, we all were, we all did at one point, right? So I thought that's pretty interesting. Who knows? You may find yourself in a position where something similar actually happens to you this week. So be careful with carrying around large quantities of water, okay? But file number 3, I believe that's all I'm seeing in your spread today. Thank you guys so much for sticking around towards the end. I hope that you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, stay tuned next week for another pick a card reading. I hope you have a fabulous week ahead, pile number 2, and I will catch you guys next time.